You're welcome back, and if you're just joining us, the program is still Breakfast Weekend. And on this segment of the show this morning, we're going to be talking about the Nigerian economy. In the 50s and 60s, Nigerian economy was built largely around agriculture, and that contributed immensely to the total GDP of the nation Nigeria. Then came the advent of oil boom in Nigeria, and that has changed the narrative since then. Today on the program, we're going to be looking at agriculture as a business, and at the same time, we're looking at how much agriculture can offer us as a nation. We have with us in the studio Michael Okoro, who is a farmer, and also we have Mr. Tijani, who is also a farmer, and we'll be discussing together agriculture. It's good to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning, viewers.
Good morning.
You probably add that these are farmers who don't really look like farmers.
No, they are big boys, farmers.
Good morning. It's good to have you.
It's good to have you.
We're talking backstage now, and you were just saying that I said you don't look like a farmer. You said that's because it's favoring you.
Yeah.
This is different from the narrative we often hear from farmers who say that things that should be in place, are not there. Maybe because of paucity of funds or because of little or no government intervention. Your case seems to be different. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's not all that different, but just like you observed, I don't look like a farmer because I don't look haggard, possibly. Yeah, we actually have challenges, which I'll talk later on. But agriculture as a field is very diverse, and it's open to everybody. You can go into any field, any aspect, like crop, animal husbandry, even forestry. So each of these fields has a lot of advantages. If I say it's lucrative, I will not be emphasizing it. And it depends upon how one approaches it. Now, agriculture, the subsistence level where people just produce to eat has not even failed. In the villages, they still rely on that. But with a little education and a little foresight, we have the ability to farm. The land is quite fruitful in terms of being productive. Some areas we just let them fallow like that without doing anything. So there are many areas, raising goods, poultry, there are many things we can do in agriculture. So if people are complaining that there is no fund, there is no this, they have not exhausted their innate ability. The ones that are within their power to do, they've not exhausted it.
So it's up to the farmer here.
It's up to the farmer.
What are some of the measures that the farmer can explore?
All right. Before I talk about the measures, I'll talk about the challenges and how we can overcome it. We're having problem with land tenure system.
Okay.
Like when I started somewhere around Ajibode here in Newark, and we just started something, and within a year or two, the owner of the land came up and said he needed this land. And that forestalled our plan, our vision.
Was there no prior agreement before?
We rented it.
Okay.
We rented it.
Okay.
Then when we started, he saw what we were doing. We actually engaged machines to pump water for irrigation.
Oh.
So when we're doing it, we became a small industry where people will come and apply. I was producing vegetable.
Okay.
Yeah. People will come and place demand, so we go and do it. So it's like there was something special we were doing. They just put their eyes into it and said they needed the land back. See, the thing stopped. So land tenure is a problem. We need government to reform land. There should be land reform.
Okay.
At least those who are willing to go into agriculture, they should have access to land for a defined period of time.
Okay, so Mr. Tijani, starting up for you, I want to know what aspect of agriculture you specialize in, and then want to know how it was starting up at the beginning, at the early stage.
So, for me, we are into processing. We specialize into processing cassava farming.
Okay.
And cassava farming, well, we have so many cassava farmers that are into it. Of course, there are issues, There are issues that people encounter, especially the farmers. I have 80% experience in processing, then 20% in farming. That means I'm trying to balance the two.
Okay.
You understand? But the point now is, I discovered that farmers, there are issues there.
What are the issues?
Now, number one, farmers, road network.
Okay.
Road network.
To the farm areas?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, one thing is, if you really want to get, if I want to get like 10 tons of cassava now, you have to move further into bushes. You understand? And before you get there, you now discover that for you to get those cassava out to your factory is a big problem. You have to start investing, as in spending, because some people will have to bring it to the place where the truck can load it and all of that. So it is a very big issue. Even before getting into the factory is another issue.
Okay.
You understand? So I will talk about road network.
Okay.
Even funding. Funds is another big problem.
So how did you tackle these challenges when you started off?
Thank you very much. In my own case, well, I believe that if government did not provide anything for me, I need to try on my own.
Okay.
So one of the first thing I did is I have some little money with me.
Okay.
And I kicked off immediately. Then I started moving, doing one by one, and from there I was able to at least not fully stable, but at least to an extent,
you're able
to
to
a
sustain
level,
what you
yes,
started,
where I can easily produce and get to the market, sell my product and all of that. You understand? Then the issue of road network, there's nothing I could do. All we just have to do is fine, let's manage what we have. There was even the road that leads to my factory. At a point, it was so bad that I had to tell all these big caterpillar to come and grade it for me. After grading it, it got bad again. So I can't continue spending almost.
Mr. Tijani, agriculture or even agribusiness doesn't end in the farm. You are a processor too, and you said that's 80% what you do. What are the challenges that you have even as you process? Because these are also some of the things. It's a chain.
Yes.
When it leaves the farm, those challenges are there. When it gets to the processor as well, there are challenges before it gets home to whoever is going to consume that good. So what are the challenges you face too as a processor?
All right. Now, the challenge, the problem starts immediately we get the raw material to the factory. Number one, the area where the factory is located, personally, it is not general. I had issue of manpower.
Okay.
Manpower, because there are some people that we call casual workers.
Okay.
For peeling, for frying, and all of that. Even though they are staff, professional staff, but they just have limited things. All they do is, they do brain work.
Okay.
Like supervising and knowing, they know what the market, what is require of us in the market,
okay,
what the consumers, what they want. So the manpower, we're beginning to have issue with it. You can't get people, and if at the end of the day you are able to get manpower, you end up paying more.
Sorry to cut to Mr. Tijani. There's something you said because of the area.
Yes.
How is the area affecting your being able to get manpower? Can you just clarify?
Now I have a factory at Omi.
Okay.
And it's a bit now let me say 10 meter or 10 feet. I can't really get the exact distance. Now that area, my vision there was that when I saw that area, I thought at least I'll have I'm close to raw material.
Okay.
One, I also thought I'm close to manpower. Fine. Now, it was where we started. The reality was done, and I discovered that even the raw material I have in that environment would not last me for a year.
Okay.
That means for you to go all around the month from January to December, it couldn't.
Okay.
So what else I have to do is I have to run out.
So did you?
Of course I did.
There's no need for expansion.
I have to one, I'll go out to buy raw material, and at a point I told you about the bad road. Then the bad road, now I had to move some things out of the factory.
But from the onset you should have foreseen this. If it's a challenge, it's who's to take that blame? The fact that your factory is inside.
Fine. I will say I will take 50% of the blame.
Okay.
You understand?
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't see it as a failure. I see it as a learning. And I believe that I can build on it.
Okay.
Cool. Mr. Okoro, you were also saying something earlier about how you were able to make this business lucrative for you? And I'd like to know how you were able to unlock. It's a code in some ways, because some farmers have different stories to tell. How were you able to key into that lucrativeness of the business?
Like we said, if you're looking at farming as a business, how do you want to go in? Like you said, the environment where you're operating. What do you need? The resources. He mentioned road network as a problem. Beside that, the other problems. Storage. How does he store the produce? When he conveys it, in the course of taking it from farm to the factory, there could be a problem if it is not well stored. So it's a challenge. Now, God help me, we believe in God here. Yeah.
Yes.
We looked at the place, we had to locate the farm very close to a pond.
Okay.
Very close to a pond, because climatic influences, we say we have 2 seasons here, rainy season, dry season. So during the dry seasons, farm activities go down, and crops yield will go down too, depending upon the type of crop. So what we did, when we located it close to the pond, we bought a pumping machine.
Okay.
Just like the type of generators we use at home, we just got something. It's a conversion. So it could, instead of generating light, to be pumping water. So we got hose, connected it to the farm, and we built ridges to make sure that the water does not run off each time we're pumping. We tried to check it. The thing helped. At least we're able to produce beyond the rainy season.
Okay.
2, we made use of the labor where we could pay. You negotiate.
Okay.
Yeah, you negotiate. It's not a long-term engagement. When you get somebody, you tell him, I will be able to pay this. He will tell you, I want to collect this.
For a so period of time.
So period of time. So based on their demand, God helped us to meet up. So they were really every time on ground. They were working. And because the way we projected the business to the market, we had customers, even from Bolivia market, who could come, please sir, we need this, we need this, we need this. So it kept us busy. The issue there, like we rightly observed, it's not that there are no challenges, but we don't have to overemphasize the challenges. Yeah, we are out here to succeed, no matter what the challenges are. We are out here to succeed. Apart from modernization, those days our parents relied on agriculture. The early man started by hunting and gathering.
Yeah.
Can't we say that the generation of man has succeeded till this time?
Yeah.
We too can succeed. So the little approach within your ability, what you can do, you start. I'm talking generally to farmers. Don't say government is not doing this, government has not done this. What you can, how does he convey the raw materials to the factory? We have Okada riders. From that level, they can help you carry from bag to bag, they'll be moving it. With time, we'll get the road to be a concrete type. So one should not give up because there are challenges. I am talking general that we can make it.
I also have issues with when farmers talk. Sometimes it looks like it's just the vision. I don't know. It's a bit limited. We're looking at a way we can better the economy, not just the pocket of the farmer. Most times when we are talking about agriculture for the nation. Now, a farmer who just wants to get his goods to the nearest market, is that where it should end as a farmer? Or should we be looking at ways where more farmers are looking at how can I get my goods outside the country?
Yeah, that is the vision, like you rightly said, that's the vision. When you go into farming, what's the vision? Why are you going? You see, the problem we have, the developed world, the people we call more economically advanced nations, they are now relying on Africa for raw materials. Because the environment has expanded so much that, geographically speaking, the natural environment has been recreated. So it's only in Africa and Asia that they are seeing the natural environment. Now, if a farmer, like you rightly said, cassava is now a cash crop. You can export it. There are many cash crops that they are looking for. These things are raw materials for them. So if one is going into agriculture and you are just thinking about eating, about producing egg, about just rearing your crops, rearing your fowls.
Are you doing that already?
I have to confess, last year I just did a little poultry.
Okay.
At a subsistence level, which I had enough to eat. I had enough to eat.
Mrs. Ijani, what's your take on what he just said about preparing this thing as export material?
All right. You see, that's my core area. One thing I know about like our products, one of the vision I have is to make it a household brand.
Okay.
And for you to make it a household brand, you must be able to get it to the final consumers. Now, talking about exports, well, thank God, by the grace of God, I just exported 10 tons of garri to UK in December. And we processed it, and it was delivered to the client, and it's already on the sea. So what am I saying? It's high time we open the channel.
Okay.
The channel needs to be opened, and not only that. Sorry, I don't know if I can mention the brand.
No,
but
please.
No.
Now the thing now is when you there's no space for you in the market. No matter the product you are into, there's no space for you in the market. But the only thing is you need to fight for space. Even you need to, because there's nothing you are doing that nobody has done before. Somebody somewhere has done it before. But it's high time you add value to it. So all these agricultural produce that we are talking about, it's high time we're beginning to add value. When we add value, that is when export channel will open. Even local local market, they will begin to open, and we're beginning to modernize it. It becomes a multinational.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Jan. Thank you, Mr. Okoro, for coming. Please, we'll be going on a short break at this point in time, and we'll be back looking at this issue from a different angle. I'll be bringing in an economic expert to discuss this with us. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We have Mr. Joseph Asheda with us, and he's going to be discussing, looking at this from the economic point of view as it relates to the nation. So, Mr. Joseph, you heard the farmers talk.
Yeah.
What do you want to say as an expert?
Now, look, the issue is beyond just what you do at their level, at the farmers level. It's bigger. And I quite appreciate the fact that both of them are like a lot of entrepreneurs that I've seen. They're trying to make things happen despite all that they're going through, despite all that the problems that they have. You see this never say die. You see it in both of them. You see it in a lot of entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And that's why some people say that, if you can make it here in Nigeria, you can make it anywhere else in the world. So we're seeing that played out, but really, there's more that could be done, even at their level. Okay. Now, when you talk about farming itself, now let's form a model of what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the running of their own business. Okay. As it's a farming part, the agricultural, that part, and then let's now look at the market that they want to go to, how to get to the market. That's three things. And then we now look at the economy within which they operate, and then we need to look at the role of the government. Now you see that the only one that is truly within their own purview, what they can control, is their own farming part. You see, the link between their own business and the market is another. Okay? Now, but they can only try. They can only try. And then you have the market itself. Okay, so those other parts are the rules that government can take and should take. Listen, I've heard that the fact that, we used to do this back in the days, we succeeded. Look, we cannot stay where we were before. Right now, we have more mouths to feed. Mm-hmm. Right now, currently as we speak, we have over 50% of Nigerians who can hardly feed once a day. That tells us we have a huge problem that we have on our hands. Again, as it looks as a problem, it's also an opportunity. Okay. You understand? That means that you have a lot of markets, you have a lot of mouths to feed. A lot of people out there looking for what you are producing. Okay. That's huge markets. Okay. Currently, Nigeria and all of Africa inclusive, we are still importing over $10 billion worth of food annually. So that kind of like is against what they are like, we have enough land, we have food, all those things, blah 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 blah. But that's the reality. That's the reality. Over $10 billion worth of food
import into Africa annually.
So what do you think should be done
So
moving forward?
now, what needed to be done? Let's begin to look at it from each model. I would say to the farmers, you can produce more than you are producing. I like Mr. Okoro's approach. They are thinking and they are beginning to practice a level of irrigation. Very good. Okay, there's more that you could do. Now, you see a lot of farmers in Nigeria, and if you casually just go to a farming community, you will see them planting cassava on the same plot. You have maize on that plot. You have some pepper on that plot. On that same plot, you have yam on that same plot.
Okay.
So that tells you, that was the style of our forefathers, and majorly they are subsistence farmers. So they are farming to feed their families, and then maybe a little to be able to sell.
So what should be the approach now?
Now the approach should be a little bit of more focus, more efficiency in the way you manage. So plant one thing.
I mean,
Do you understand? So by the time you plant only one thing, you can have better yield.
Okay.
Do you understand? So the way the government can come in really now is that, look, let's organize this community. This community, different communities, community produce vegetables. This one produces cassava. This one produces yam. You understand? If you have tried it, look at the farm that produces only yam. Compare the yam output with the one that is mixing it with some other crop. The difference is very clear in terms of our yield.
Yeah, but how do you manage? We have different seasons. Some of these things have their own seasons.
Then that's what we're saying.
So how do we manage?
Maybe a lot of them are trying to play it safe in terms of if this one doesn't.
See, yes, they are playing it safe. I understand,
but
that is the role that government should be able to take, or unorganized private sector.
For that to be, there should be a structure. What do you think the structure should be for the government to effectively carry out this thing?
You see, the problem that we're having is that, in fact, we cannot exhaust this. We can keep talking about it 24 hours, another 24 hours, another 24 hours, and we're not completely done yet. Okay, just talking about this. So within the small period of time that we have, let's look at some of it.
Okay.
Now, what I'm discussing about this community, that community, this one, that is structure.
Okay.
You understand? So what the farmers need to do is that, look, if I produce this from this area, I bring it out, I will get market for it. Do you understand? So they will be willing to do that. And then I say, okay, if I produce, let me shock you, over 50% of farm produce in Nigeria are lost between the farm gate and the market. That's a colossal waste annually. Now, if the farmer is sure that, look, I produce this, I can get at least, even at the current market, even if it's just one that I'm producing once a year, that means I can get all of it, maybe 95% of it into the market, to sell 95% of it. Meanwhile, they usually will have lost like 50%. That is extra 45%. Do you understand?
Reserved.
Value going to them. You understand? So that is one thing that you can tell them. And how do you get that done? They mentioned roads. I know of a friend that cultivated 20 hectares of land of just corn.
Okay.
When it was time for harvest, the road was out. They could not access the farm. He has to ask the villagers to come and take.
Wow.
So that's a whole loss. Wow. And this happened to a lot of farmers. So he abandoned the land. And he will continue to abandon that land. That's a resource being abandoned.
But a lot of farmers are talking
until
about
you have the road.
They're asking government for money.
Funding. See, let me tell you something. You see, when people ask for money, let's be very, when you are talking off your head, looking at the fact and data and reports, you may not be able to get the true picture of what's going on. The anchor borrower scheme came up around between the end of 2016 and early 17. And I remember that I said, and along with other experts, said, look, giving farmers money, pushing them. A farmer could get 2 billion. A lot of people, just one farm, 2 billion, 10 billion, like that. But as of last quarter, of 2018, a lot of them are now being chased about because they could not pay back.
Okay.
So it's not just about money.
Okay.
You understand? Throwing money at a problem without creating, let the solution ask for the money, not you throw money at it.
Yes,
They
sir.
have to have a strategic solution, a strategic structure for you to base, the demand for money. Not giving them money is not the only thing, but you have to. So if I give, supposing you gave that my friend, oh, I don't have money. So maybe he went to bank to get like 5 billion. 5 million naira to put into that farm for that 20 acres of land to produce corn. At the end of the day, nothing, because there was no road. Where is he going to get the money to pay back? He's already in trouble.
Yeah.
You understand? He will be in trouble. So the truth of the matter is that, look, we have a lot going on. So it's not
it goes
just about
beyond
money.
just giving them
Just
money.
giving-
It goes beyond just giving money. We're
Okay.
talking about building a
The
structure
structure that work.
that will work. Now, you see this thing that we're talking about, it looks like it looked like
So
theory.
easy.
It looks like, no, it is easy.
Okay.
It looks like theory. But let me tell you something, this is what's happening in China. You have an aggregation of small farmers. This one produce coffee. So this coffee that they do in this particular area, everybody produce coffee to that international standard.
Do you know?
then
I was going to come to that. Maybe it's an orientation. Maybe we are small, in the quantity of what we are producing. But does it also have to do with the orientation of most farmers that as long as I produce and I can get it to the market, mission accomplished?
Look, the idea is that, look, if you are able to convince them that, look, okay, you are bringing this thing that you're producing, this is a ready market for it, and there are a ready market for it. A lot of them, I've heard about them. I was with a professor in IIT to discuss we are discussing a project, a plantation project, and we were discussing, and I was talking to him about soybeans. The professor, Professor Joey, is a soybeans expert.
Okay.
And then he was like, while we were discussing, I was looking for a particular variety of soybeans, to be able to produce, at this part of the southwest, So, and he was talking to me about it. So while we were discussing, and then he mentioned the fact that there are people who have produced soybeans, but there's no market.
There's no market in Nigeria. outside
No, to
of-
sell it. They don't know where to sell it. They produce a lot. They produce tons of it, and there's no
I
market.
didn't know where to take it to.
Who is going to buy it? Meanwhile, there are people who are looking for soybeans. So he was like, now that going for that season that was following, that look, that we were going to look for ways by which he can connect those people. So look, we should not be looking for ways to do that. There should be a structure in place
yeah.
where you already have it. That, okay, the farmers know, look, this is where I'm
This is
taking
where
my
you're
product, and these other people who are the off-takers, they know this is where to find the product.
Okay.
We're not even, we could do far more. Today you can produce tomato based on now the farmers will be producing based on the demand of
Sorry,
the market.
The picture is big. I mean, there will be a lot of farmers. How do you think that the government will be able to get to each farmer in each nook and cranny, and to be able to push their goods out?
Look, currently we have extension network.
Okay.
Every state has.
Okay.
We have extension workers. Some of them are being trained every now and then. But my problem with the extension services that currently exist is that as a management person, I can tell you that, look, in order to be efficient, you need to be slightly focused and more you face only one thing,
Instead of dabbling
so that
into
you
a lot.
can be more efficient.
Okay.
Now you have all these extension workers who they know this, they have their hands in every bit of all the crops. So what we're saying is that, look, why don't you focus an extension worker? Look, this guy or this group, you train them in say cassava, for example. So even when they, after over time, within a short period of time, they can smell danger, afar off, and they know what to do because that is their focus. That's their area of expertise. Now, all these extension workers, when you talk about they get to all those communities.
So
it's just that we're not engaging them well enough to be able to produce, to be able to get the kind of result that we're looking for. Okay, so if we are able to do that, then we have basically all the little bit of those ingredients in place. It's just to be able to put them together under a strategic structure to be able to achieve what we need to achieve. That's a problem. Now, for me, we keep on mentioning, oh, this we are not producing enough. Look, if how many of our farmers are producing all year round? Some crops, some arable crops, you can produce them 4 times a year. What are we doing about that? That our climate gives us an edge over the people in the climate in other climates of the world. For example, you cannot plant during winter, and then you have that cold temperature for about 6 months or 5 months of the year.
And yet they make something great out of it.
You understand? So, and yet these people produce more. One, that's another one. The way we plant, a lot of research has gone into it. It has changed. You understand? It's different. You still go to the farm, you're still counting 6 meters by 6 meters and putting 4. A lot of that has changed. Now you can do 6 meters by 6 meters or 7 meters and planting one will get more out of this thing.
Thank you very much.
Our farmers we are way behind.
Let me, like you said, we can't completely exhaust this topic in one sitting. Also, we definitely have to revisit sometime, before the end of the year or anytime soon. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Joseph.